Start recording.
It's okay.
All right, now I am.
I'm
All right, writing linear function, slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form, you might have heard of it as y equals mx plus b. So you pause me if there's something that we do on here that you're like, wait. Oops, get out of there. There we go. All right, so next slide. So find the slope of each. So remember, this is the equation we're using. So it's best if you label x1, y1, x2, y2. And then you subtract your y's. So 3 minus 5. Make sure you're watching your signs. 6 minus 2. 3 minus 5 is 3 plus 5, which is 8. So I get 8 over 6 minus 2, which is 4. And then you can reduce that so you find you have a slope of 2. Seem okay so far? Now our second equation, again, this should be just some review. This is x1, y1. That's actually the y-intercept. I don't know if you knew that, 0, 5. And then x2, y2. And again, plug them right into your slope equation. So I'm going to get 2 minus 5 and 6 minus 0. 2 minus 5 is negative 3 over 6. So that comes out to negative 1/2 for a slope. Anything about that that's brand spanking new to you? I hope not.
Is
that why you just get me?
That
You broke my leg.
What did I do?
Why's that dude spinning so long?
Genetics.
Well, thank you.
All right. Ready? Can I move on? We good?
Hold up.
Holding up.
Okay, I'm good.
You good?
Yes.
All right.
Okay, so identify the slope and the y-intercept of these lines. So remember, when it looks like this, and there's no more parentheses or anything, everything's just distributed out, the slope is attached to the x, and whatever's left over is the y-intercept. So my slope on this one is negative 2, and my y-intercept is 1. Seem okay? What do I have to do to the fourth problem to figure out the slope of the y-intercept? How's that set up? Cover method might find me the y-intercept, but how do I find the slope? How is that green one set up in comparison to the 4? Yeah. What's all alone on the green one?
10.
Why?
Y. On the green one. Right here.
Oh.
All right, so I want y to be by itself. So what did I do right here? What did I do at that step? I added 5x, right? So what I did on that step to bring it over is I just went plus 5x plus 5x. Those cancel, and I get that. So does this say y equals yet? No. How are 2 and y being held together? Multiplication. What does multiplication?
Division.
Division. Good. So divide by 2, divide by 2, divide by 2. I'll just bring this down here. So I get y equals 5 over 2x. 10 over 2 is? 10 over 2 is? 5? So what's my slope of this equation?
Negative 5 over 2.
Where's the negative?
5 over 2.
Just 5 over 2, right? Where's my y-intercept? 5. Hey, if that was a negative 5, would the y-intercept be negative 5?
Yes.
Definitely. Ooh. Y equals 4. That's one of our special cases. Is that horizontal or vertical?
Vertical. I mean horizontal.
It's horizontal. Horizontal lines have what for a slope?
0.
0. So I have a 0 slope, and I have a y-intercept of 4. Done. Okay. Seem okay so far? May I move on? We good to go? Catch. You're getting done.
The world is in my hands.
Oh. He's got the whole world
I
in
should
his
destroy the
hands.
world.
All right, so the equation of a line in slope-intercept is y equals mx plus b, where m being attached to the x value is the slope, and the b value, which doesn't have an x attached to it, is the y-intercept. So the y-intercept is where it crosses the vertical line on the y-axis. Good to go? All right, give the equations for the following. So what does it appear the y-intercept of this line is right now?
-3.
-3? I have a y-intercept of -3. So I have y equals, I know I'm going to have -3. And I know I'm going to have an x right here. So let's figure out what the slope is going to be. So how would I use this point to find a second point? And if, to do that, how can I find the slope? Go ahead.
You could like you could experiment and like go up 2 and over 1 or something.
Okay, so if I went up 2 and over 1, that didn't land on it, but I like your thinking. Hey, up 2 or up 1, right 1, does that get to a point?
No.
No, it's like a whole number point. Where does it appear I have another whole number point up there?
4.
Right here?
Oh,
Up 3, 4.
There you go, right here. Is that another point? Does it look like it'd be a whole number point, meaning it crosses like at an exact value? So I'm going to count. I'm going to go up 2, 1, 2, and over 1, 2, 3. So up 2, right 3. So what's my slope have to be?
3 over 2.
Close.
2 over 3.
2 over 3. Up and then right. Okay, so y equals 2/3 x minus 3 is the equation to that line in slope-intercept form. May I move on?
Yes.
So everyone, you stop me if I go too fast, okay?
Wait,
Wait.
why did you decide to go to 3? Because
Well, it looked like it crossed, that line crossed right there at that intersection at 3, -1. So like right here at 4, and it's like down here a little bit, right? And then 5, it's like not at a whole part. Maybe that 6 would work, 6, 1, I don't know. We might have been able to use that.
oh,
So I'm looking for, where is it exactly crossing? So right here, it exactly crosses, and that's the y-axis. So the y-axis is going to be, I'm going to have y equals blank x plus 4. Is that okay so far? So what does another point look to be?
6.
6? Is that right there?
Yeah.
I think you're right. Y'all think that's okay? So that's 6, 1, right?
Yeah.
Over 6. So from here, I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3. So I'm going down 3. And then I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh, can I reduce -3 over 6? What does it reduce to? -1/2. Okay, if you left it as 3 over 6 and I was just asking for the equation, I think you're totally right. But this is like the more correct version. If I gave you a multiple choice test, I would have this version as my answer. Should you reduce the slope? Sometimes. I can't tell you every time when you should.
Wait,
But-
okay. Sorry.
You're good. Perfect.
So how did you get -3?
How did I get what?
-3.
Because I went from here down, so 1,
you started
2,
from
3, and then I went over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But if -1/2 were the case, down 1, right? Hey, is that a point as well? The answer is yes. So even if you pick two things that are too far away and it gave you the same slope, then you can obviously see it works multiple times. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, so I don't quite like. So if there's another point, like right there, will that still be the correct answer?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you could have multiple points that lie on the same line. You're just trying to figure out where it intersects. I mean, it looks like it intersects there, maybe there, maybe there, maybe there, there. There's a lot of places you could have picked. What? Ooh. Oh, yeah, buddy.
Oh, Jacob. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. You know what that means? I don't know.
We're hoping somebody brings cupcakes in, but guess not.
Jacob.
All right. Ooh.
I'm so lost.
Right here?
No.
Oh.
No.
Hey, what kind of line is it? I know it's straight.
Horizontal.
It's horizontal. Horizontal has what for a slope? 0. So I get y equals 0x.
Plus
And what's my y-intercept?
3.
1, 2. Yeah. Hey, what's 0 times x?
0.
0. So could I write y equals 3?
Yes.
Absolutely. Do you think I'd count it wrong if you gave me y equals 0x plus 3?
No.
Heck no, I think that shows you have a pretty good understanding of a 0 slope. Love it. We still doing okay?
Yeah.
Can I move on?
Yeah.
All right. So we need to know that we're going to go back here and use this equation multiple times. Okay, so this is my go-to. So I have the slope of 1/2 and the y-intercept of 2. So I know both m and b in this case. Agree? So my answer is y equals 1/2 x plus 2. Got it right? Okay, then I have goes through 2, 5 and 0, -3. And it says we know b and we need to find m.
Ooh.
How do I know b on this one? What is b normally?
Y.
Y what?
Y-intercept?
Y-intercept. Is 2, 5 the y-intercept?
No.
Is 0, -3?
Yes.
Yeah. So 0, -3 is just down. So this right here is my b value. Okay? And then we need to find the slope. Gosh, there's just some sort of equation we could use to find the slope.
Is it y1 minus y2
Oh yeah.
and then x1 minus
So let's
x2?
label x1, y1, x2, y2. Find the slope. The slope equation was this, if you don't remember off the top of your head. All right, so I get m equals -3 minus 5, 0 minus 2. What's -3 minus 5?
-8.
Good. What's -8 over -2 reduced to?
-4. I mean 4.
Positive 4, right? So now, do I know both m and b here?
Sure.
Yeah, so my equation is y equals 4x minus 3. Hey,
And then loser.
where you been?
Well, it's a really long story.
Okay, we don't have time. I guess you're hanging out next period, huh? Good.
Oh, wait, no, I'm not. We've done one.
Same here.
Gotcha. All right.
Thank you.
There he goes.
All right, so number 3 says we have the point 2, -1 with a slope of 3. So we know the slope, we know m, but we need to find the y-intercept. Ooh, okay. Let me see. So far, if I used y equals mx plus b on this one, what do I know? What do I guarantee I know I can plug in off that equation?
3.
3 for what?
Slope.
M for slope. Do you feel comfortable with what that is right there? Is there anyone who's like, I'm not quite sure. It'd be nice if we could find B. So I bet you that's an X value, and I bet you that's a Y value because we've only been dealing with points since like the 2nd grade. So if that's an X and that's a Y, what do you think I could do with that X and Y with Y equals 3X plus B? What do you think?
Plug it in.
Plug it in. If I plug in X and Y, and I already know M, what do I get to solve for then? What's the only letter up that I didn't label? B. All right, so let's take this equation. I'm just going to kind of bring it up here. So I know my Y value is -1 equals 3 times, what's my X value up here? 2 plus B, all right? That's -1 equals 6 plus B. Hey, how do I get B by itself? Subtract what? The 6? So if I subtract 6 from both sides, I get B equals -7. Agree? Do I have enough information to fulfill that green problem over here? What did I just find? B. Y-intercept, good. I already had slope that I knew. So my equation is y equals 3x minus 7. Huh. A little different. Okay, I think it's something that you're able to do, but you have to spend a little time on it. And sometimes it might get a little tricky. Okay? One more slide. Cool. All right. All right, ready? So I have this point, negative 2, 3, and 4, 0. I need to find both m and b. So my slope is this. So I can just go ahead and plug in. So I get 0 minus 3, 4 minus 2. Slope of negative 3 over 6, because 4 minus 2 is 4 plus 2. Which means I have a slope of negative half. Is that okay? Now, how did I find the b value if I didn't know it? Where do I plug it in? What do I plug in? I'm going to plug into y equals mx plus b. What did I just find down there? M or b?
B.
Well, it says m equals, so good choice. All right, so now, decision time. Decision time. I need to take one of those points, it doesn't matter which one, and plug it in for your x and your y. Is that okay? You understand what I'm saying? So which one of those points, negative 2, 3 or 4, 0, seems best to plug in? They're both going to give me the same answer, but which one seems a little simpler?
4, 0.
4, 0, absolutely. Great critical thinking on that. So 4, 0, so that's an x and a y, correct? So that means I'm going to get 0 equals negative 1/2 times 4 plus b. What's negative half of 4?
2.
Close? Don't forget the negative.
Negative 2.
Negative 2. So what's b have to equal to? 2. So do I have enough information from my equation here? Yeah, I have y equals negative half x plus 2. There's my equation. Wow.
Whatever happened in finding out what shape it is in first grade?
You made it to second grade. We build the math set upon you. We allow you to think at a different level for critical thinking skills. Why should we do that when the computers do it for us? Because I don't need a machine to tell me what to do. Right? I really don't want a machine to tell me what to do.
Terminating Genesis.
Well, think about that. Just think about that on the little process. If you have a machine to think what you want to do, this is far-fetched, but just think about this. Y'all are 13, 14, 15, maybe 16, somewhere in there?
Computers
Right?
are going to take over our jobs.
No. I'm not worried about that. Think about this, though. Think about this. What happens in about 2 weeks? An election. This is the midterm elections. Can you imagine if you're like, oh, I'm too busy to worry about my vote, so I'll just have a machine vote for me.
The government.
I'm just thinking. Just think far-fetched. If you start thinking about it, if you keep allowing, I would say there's algorithms deep enough in Google that can figure out what your political stance is by what you have looked at on the internet as an adult. That it could say, hey, you know what? It's starting to show that you start looking at more things towards the Conservative Party or the Democrats or the Republicans or in the middle or the sides. And all of a sudden, hey, these are our recommended votes based on what you looked at on the internet over the past couple of years. Oh, that looks good. I don't want a computer to vote for me. I have a right to vote that's in the Constitution. I never want a computer to do it for me. But think about it. Hey, so only thing I want you to see out of here is these are special cases. This refers to this point. The function at 0 equals 3 is the point 0, 3. What's the function at 1 equal to written as a point?
2.
1, 2. 1, 2. Is that okay? 2, 4, I don't know what this is.
So you're basically just rewriting.
Yeah, so you're taking it from functional notation and making it a point. That's all you're doing. Okay? So on this one, you would just find the slope first. Find the slope first, and then plug into y equals mx plus b to get b alone, and then you plug into y equals mx plus b. We just did that a slide ago. Okay? All right. So, your assignment, if you would like to do it.
If we'd like to do it?
No. If you'd like to do it for a grade.
Oh,
Writing linear functions. So this is going to be page 95, 96, 97, 98. No, I'm just kidding. Page 95, 96.
I actually just wrote all that down.
I'm sorry. Page 95 and 96. I think you have enough information to do quite well with it. Hey, quick question. X equals a number has an undefined slope. So what's the slope?
Zero.
Undefined, right? Yeah, 0 with the slash through it. Cool. Good job today, guys and girls.